You do not have a word for it yet. You have words for hunger, words for cold, words for the sound a branch makes when a predator steps on it in the dark. But this thing that started 3 sunsets ago, you have no word for this. And that is exactly where the story of human love begins. Not in a poem, not in a church, not on a dating app. It begins here, on a riverbank 200,000 years ago, with you. It started with a look. You were crouched by the water, washing blood from your hands after the kill when you felt it. Not heard, not saw, felt. A presence at the edge of your awareness. You turned without knowing why, and there they were, standing at the tree line, watching you. They did not look away. Neither did you. Here is what was actually happening inside your skull in that moment. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar found that sustained eye contact between 2 humans immediately triggers a release of oxytocin, the bonding chemical, the same one released between a mother and her newborn. Your ancient brain was not being poetic. It was running a survival calculation. Can I trust this person? Are they strong? Are they safe? In a world where the wrong partner could get you killed, your brain evolved to answer that question fast. And apparently, standing at that riverbank, the answer was yes. You did not sleep that night. You lay in the dark, listening to the breathing of your group, and your mind kept looping. Back to the look, back to the stillness, back to the exact shade of light on their face before they turned and walked into the trees. Anthropologist Helen Fisher spent 30 years scanning the brains of people freshly in love. What she found should make you uncomfortable. Those brains looked almost identical to the brains of people addicted to cocaine. Same dopamine flood, same obsessive craving, same inability to think about anything else. You were not distracted. You were chemically hijacked, and evolution did it on purpose. Next morning you woke before anyone else. You told yourself the hunting was better early. You told yourself this even as your eyes went straight to where they slept, even as your chest did something strange when you saw them still there, still safe. You went out. You hunted harder than you ever had. And when you came back, you did something no one taught you to do. You found the best piece of meat, the tenderest part. You crossed the camp and placed it in front of them. This was not dinner. This was a declaration. Evolutionary psychologist David Buss surveyed over 10,000 people across 37 cultures and found the same pattern everywhere he looked. Across every continent, every era, every language, humans are most attracted to partners who are willing to share. Food, protection, time. In the ancient world, giving someone your best piece of what you caught was the loudest possible signal your body could send. It meant, I would rather you survive than keep this for myself. They looked up at you. Your heart was a fist inside your ribs. They took the food, then quietly tore off a piece and held it back out toward you. You sat down beside them, shoulders almost touching. Neither of you spoke. The fire was warm. The dark outside the camp was full of sounds you had heard 1,000 times. Tonight, they did not frighten you at all. Days passed. You started knowing things about them without being told. The sound of their footstep, when they were tired, when something was wrong. Your attention had narrowed, quietly, without your permission, until it contained almost nothing except them. Psychologists call this limerence, the early stage of attachment where one person occupies your entire mental bandwidth. It is not weakness. It is your brain doing its job. Study this person. Memorize this person. Because in a group of 30 to 150 humans moving across open wilderness, the right bond was not a luxury. It was survival infrastructure. And then one evening, it rained. A fast, hard rain. No warning. Everyone scrambled under the flat rocks at the edge of camp, pressing together under the overhang. In the chaos, their hand found your arm in the dark. They held on. You did not move. You barely breathed. If you moved, the hand might let go. It did not let go. Robin Dunbar's research shows physical touch is the single most powerful activator of the human bonding system. More than words, more than gifts, more than time alone. Your ancestors did not discover this in a laboratory. They discovered it in the dark, in the rain, holding on. When the storm passed, they stayed beside you. You turned to look at them. They were already looking at you. That night, for the first time, you talked. Not about the hunt, not about the group. Small things. You pointed at a strangely shaped rock and made a sound that meant something like ridiculous. They laughed. You had not known until that moment that their laugh was the best sound you had ever heard. You talked until the fire burned to coals, and at some point in all that talking, without either of you deciding to, you told each other something true, something real, something you had never said out loud before. Psychologist Arthur Aaron found that the most reliable path to genuine human closeness is not shared experience alone. It is mutual self-disclosure. The slow, escalating act of showing another person who you actually are and having them do the same. Aaron called it the self-disclosure cascade. What you were doing around that fire 200,000 years before psychology existed was running this process perfectly. And then you said something that really mattered, and they did not look away. That was the moment. moment. The next morning, the world looked the same. The trees were the same, the sky was the same, but something in it had a detail you had never noticed before, and now that you had seen it, you could not unsee it. You did not have a word for what was inside your chest. Your descendants would spend 200,000 years looking for one. They would write poems, build temples, invent music, look across crowded rooms and glowing screens and feel their chest do the same strange tight thing yours did at that riverbank, and they would call it love. But you felt it first, crouching by a river, blood on your hands, no word for any of it. It felt exactly the same then as it does right now, because it is exactly the same. The fire is electric now, the stars are harder to see, but the program your brain is running has not been updated in 200,000 years, and apparently it still works.